From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, time once again for another edition of The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV, brought to you by our good friends at Heritage Capital. Great to have them on board. We're at Tommy Max, of course, at the bar, and boy, we've got the patrons this time around. We're talking how to be a great consultant, and let's say hello to who's here. Coach Campo's back. Hey, Coach, how are you, my man?
I'm good, Tom.
Good to see you. Life treating you well?
Doing well, absolutely.
You're looking really nice and tight and clean and everything.
Well, after the Manscaped, I was a little self-conscious, but other than that, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you're looking good. You. John Meyer's here from Meyer
Nice to meet you,
IT
sir.
Systems. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, sir. How are
Everything
you?
good?
Yeah.
Great to have you at the bar. Walt Holbrook is here from Yoda Retail Consulting. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah, how long have you been a consultant for?
Probably 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Great to have you on the show. And Jack Sears, my man from Client Focus Media. How are you, brother? Okay, let's just start right at it. And well, I'm going to start with you. What does it take to be a successful consultant in business?
I think a clear message, simplify it as much as possible.
Okay. Let's back up just a minute. We can all answer. When you define consultant, right? I mean, you're opening doors, you're helping them run their business. How would you define being a consultant for somebody's business?
I think most of the time, and you know, my specialty is retail.
Right.
However, when I go in and start working with families, and I've worked with families mostly since I left the Fortune 500, and that is, I find that it's less about retail and more about organizational development and leadership skills.
Okay.
And that's where they're missing the piece.
You're starting at the executives and trickling down,
exactly,
right?
yes.
Okay. So I have a consulting business, and the way I think of my consulting is I connect people. That's what I do. I help businesses by connecting people, opening doors, strategic relationships, and whatnot. You're in IT.
Yes, sir.
So you consult in IT. What would you say define being a consultant?
For me, it would be a matter of being like a subject matter expert and taking a company like a consulting company or a CPA or any sort of company really, and kind of guiding them in the right path on what they need to do to get their standards up to par with whatever rules or regulations that they have on top of with like cyber insurance. For me, is a big push right now.
Absolutely.
So for us, it's making sure that they have everything in place, so if anything happens, they're not in trouble and that they're good to go.
Like an operational standpoint, consulting in the operation, making sure it's secure and running the right way. Fascinating. Well, Jack, what would you say? How do you define it?
So I define consulting from my nonprofit experience background, 37 years working in nonprofits.
Sure.
I think that leadership is the key to any organization, profit, nonprofit, a sports team, IT. And so spending time with leaders to ensure that they have what they need to do what they're trying to do with their mission, in the case of a nonprofit, is how I consider consulting.
Okay, great. Coach, you've been, you're a football consultant now, but you've been head coach, assistant, you've spent your life in coaching. What would you say?
Well, I think I spent 2 years out at USC, the end of my career, as a defensive consultant, and really what that is, the gentlemen here have already kind of explained the importance of it. I think experience is the biggest thing. That's what you offer as a consultant. You've been through the situations of leadership. I've been with 7 or 8 head coaches that had their ways of getting the most motivationally out of players.
Sure.
So for me, that was the big thing. I went in and talking to the coaches about, I think this is the way to get the players to understand and respect what you're doing.
Okay.
People ask me all the time, how did you at 5'7", 170 pounds deal with guys that look like Tom McManus and make a lot more money than I did? It really comes down to sales and being able to know your product and get it out there.
And kind of be a buffer. Like you take your experience and buffer the leadership into running the operation the right way. Walt, with retail, how do you help retail clients? Explain that, like from a consultancy standpoint.
It could be from merchandising to operations to logistics. It could be a lot of different things. I think, number one, it always falls down to people. Always.
Sure. Right.
And I always, the first thing I like to teach when I'm dealing with an organization is look at you, which you is you, me, and I. So I asked them 3 questions, and I ask it from the CEO down to the person sweeping the floor. I want you to look in the mirror today and ask these 3 questions.
Okay.
Number 1, do you have a ferocious work ethic?
Okay.
2, do you have a great sense of pride? And 3, are you coachable?
Okay.
Those,
Yeah.
it all falls right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a leader, right, you're a consultant, you're leading, you got to be able to listen. You got to take a little critique and give the customer what they really need, right? Especially, I mean, you're dealing with cybersecurity, man. That's no joke. It could ruin someone's whole everything.
It's trying to show people the importance of having the security and having some sort of insurance, because when an attack happens, average downtime is 22 days. That means they don't have access to computer, their data, nothing while the investigations are going on. And if they don't have a good plan going forward and have things in order, they won't be able to get back up and running within a few days. It might take a month, it might take even longer, versus recovery time takes almost a whole year before they're even up and running back to where they were. I
think when you're talking to any consultancy, the trust has got to be there. You know, from your experience, how you handle people. I mean, it's got to be, they got to trust you, right, Coach? I mean, especially, well, any business, really, but they got to trust that what you're saying is really going to help them become better.
You know, just look from their standpoint, it's very similar from the standpoint when I came to Jacksonville the first time, Rasheem Mathis was a corner. Rasheem was a safety that had moved to corner. So when I looked at the film and everything, I said, hey, this guy's got great talent, but he's got a lot to learn. So I grabbed him, and I had a little bit of skins on the wall. I think that's part of it. You know, what you've done prior to talking to these guys, I had the Super Bowl rings, and so I took him to the film. I said, Rasheem, look at this. Here's what you need to do better. Now, you're an outstanding player. In other words, this isn't all about critique. This is about what you've done, but here's what you have to do. And I said, if you buy into me, I'll have you in the Pro Bowl in 2 years. And 1 year later, he was in the Pro Bowl because he looked at it and said, hey, I trust this guy. You know, he's got some skins on the wall, and here's what we need to do.
Well, and part of that is how you treat people, right? And how you handle people in good times and in bad, right, Jack? Final word, my man.
So the final word is treat others the way you want to be treated.
That's right.
You want to win in anything, in business, in life, in family, just treat others with respect.
Even the leaders have to look in the mirror and make it better. They got to look there first, I think.
Absolutely.
That's right. All right, cheers to that. We found some common ground. It's all good. Right here at the bar, we always do. Hey, make sure you check out their great profiles, this conversation, and many others at iwanttabuzz.com. So until next time, stay safe and be cool out there. We'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers. Hey, Tom McManus here with Carpet Man Flooring. Wow, warehouses the size of football fields filled with rolls of carpet and LVP. That's luxury vinyl planking.
LVP.
Carpet Man's LVP.
Carpet Man.
Carpet Man's
LVP.
The luxury beneath your feet.
Our prices, they can't be beat.
LVP.
Carpet Man's LVP. Carpet Man Flooring, your hometown flooring store.